Top 8 Habits of Steve Ballmer that helped him become rich. Steve Ballmer, full name Stephen Anthony Ballmer, is an American businessman who served as the CEO of Microsoft Corporation from 2000 to 2014. He was born on March 24, 1956, in Detroit, Michigan. Ballmer earned bachelor's degrees in mathematics and economics from Harvard University in 1977. He went to Stanford University Graduate School of Business after working for 2 years as a product manager for the consumer goods giant Procter & Gamble. In 1980, he walked out of school to work as a business manager for Bill Gates, a Harvard acquaintance who had dropped out and co-founded Microsoft. Ballmer maintained several positions at Microsoft during the next 2 decades as the company expanded into one of the most influential and profitable in American history. The supremacy of its operating systems MS/DOS and Windows accounted for a large part of its initial success. Steve Ballmer has resigned from the Microsoft board of directors, but he will not be forgotten. During Ballmer's time as CEO of Microsoft, I kept a close eye on him and learned a lot from both his triumphs and failings. Before we move to the next step, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can be updated by my new videos. We often believe successful CEOs like Steve Jobs or Jack Welch are bright and try to copy everything they do. That's how Welch gave us a forced ranking, which turned out to be one of the main reasons for Microsoft's decline. Because you won't have to repeat their painful experiences, learning from others' failures is frequently more essential than learning from their accomplishments. Let's go over some of the things I learned from Ballmer that will influence the advice I provide to other executives in the future. Today we are going to know about some of Steve Ballmer habits which made him to become rich. Habit 1. Do a 100% makeover or do nothing at all. Before Ballmer became CEO of Microsoft, there was the iconic Monkey Boy film, which was shot while he gave a motivating speech to the Microsoft sales force and ordered them to focus on developers. This is a common technique used in motivational speeches. Speakers should be enthusiastic and lively. Furthermore, his focus proved to be prescient. Apple and Google outperformed Microsoft with iOS and Android because they had more developers. Rather of praising Ballmer's performance and insight, however, he was mocked. He was moved by it. Ballmer got a facelift, lost his passion, and evolved into a capable, but boring, public speaker. Ballmer maintained his intensity in private, but it was evident in accounts of him ranting or throwing furniture. This made him appear unhinged, controlled in public, a little insane in private, and did nothing to improve his image. I believe his devotion was an asset rather than a burden, but if you're going to submerge a behavior, do so completely and replace it with something equally fascinating. Ballmer didn't like the adjustment because it wasn't necessary and wasn't executed correctly. Habit 2. Be brief. Many individuals say what should be conveyed in one phrase in 2 pages. Ballmer isn't one of them. He communicates what others can't in 3 words. Because of his precision, he was able to reach out to a greater number of people. When leading a huge organization or speaking to the media, rambling wastes time at best and loses the point at worst, causing the audience to daydream and possibly causing you to say something you didn't mean to say. Ballmer was known for his brevity. This was quite beneficial to him. Habit 3. Numbers matter. Ballmer was a tycoon when it came to numbers. This will become a considerably greater value than it was when he was running Microsoft in a more analytics-driven environment. Numbers push you to look at the measurable facts, to ask for solid information, and to question what's important all of the time. Ballmer's obsession with figures was perhaps a little excessive. Given that statistics increasingly define our successes and failures, successful executives will have a firm foundation and a passion for looking at and understanding numbers. Habit 4. Select people for loyalty, not competence. This is one of Ballmer's blunders. I'm not proposing that you hire inept people. Those who can demonstrate devotion and teamwork should be valued over those who are more capable but have large egos and don't play well with others. The incapacity of highly intelligent people to work with their peers created the silos that hobbled the corporation and resulted in many of Microsoft's major failures. Some of this can be attributed to forced ranking, which sets employees against one another, but a lot of it occurred because being smart seemed to take precedence above getting along with others. As a result, there are a lot of shrewd backstabbers. That's not a skill you'd want to promote, especially if you're the top person with the most vulnerable back. This would be similar to an assassin employing assassins who are only interested in advancing their careers. His life expectancy would be very short. You want someone to have your back, not poke you in the eye with something sharp. Habit 5. Validate your information. At times, Ballmer's obsession with numbers worked against him. That's because he frequently got tainted data intended to influence a decision or simply give Ballmer the answer he desired. The classic adage, garbage in, garbage out, applies here. Too much of what Ballmer was told was incorrect, resulting in a succession of poor decisions. You must continually verify that information is correct. Don't make it harder by shooting messengers or allowing executives to get away with deception. Direct reports, in particular, can isolate CEOs by either manipulating them or simply making them happy by misrepresenting or limiting what the CEO sees. This kills businesses and renders even the most capable CEOs ineffectual. Habit 6. Don't isolate yourself. Ballmer sought advice from people both inside and outside Microsoft before becoming CEO. He enabled himself to be isolated after becoming CEO, ostensibly to better control the outcome of his engagements. This happened to John Akers, IBM's sole CEO who was ever sacked. There are always individuals who wish to restrict access to those in positions of power in order to protect or control them. If this is allowed to continue, horrible things will continue to go unchecked for far too long. In the best-case scenario, the executive is ineffectual. In the worst-case scenario, he or she fails and brings the company down with them. Maintaining touch both inside and outside the organization has the benefit of highlighting areas where you are being misled while yet having the authority to act. Habit 7. Don't run your predecessor's shop. Ballmer eventually found it out, but it was too late. He virtually oversaw Bill Gates' company until the last Microsoft restructuring, but he lacked Gates' particular skill set. Jobs, on the other hand, converted Apple into a business he could manage. As a new executive, you have two options: modify your skills to match the demands of the organization, or change the organization to match your skills. Ballmer isn't a software specialist, thus it's impressive that he fared so well in a company built around a software expert. Ballmer would never be able to match Gates' achievements, but he would finally make changes to Microsoft that more mirrored his own. Satya Nadella, Ballmer's successor, has been assertive from the start. This is encouraging for his tenure as CEO. Habit 8. Rediscover Fun. Ballmer's final genuine smile was at a meeting with me shortly after the announcement that he would accept the job. He grinned as he waved me out of the complex and waved goodbye from his limo window. This gets me to my final point: have a good time. Find a way out if you don't like your job, any job. I hope many of us can find a way to grin again as Ballmer goes away from Microsoft and towards something that appears to be a lot more enjoyable. A job can be a fantastic, enjoyable experience or a jail. My final Steve Ballmer lesson: break out from prison and reclaim the smile that everyone around you remembers fondly. I hoped you find this video helpful. If you liked the video, do like and subscribe as it really helps our channel, and do remember to give your feedback in the comments below. See you in the next video with some more interesting topics and facts.